Technology reminiscent of Back to the Future may be closer than we think, with plans being drawn up for the regulation of flying taxis and emergency service drones. The new Future of Flight Action Plan aims to ensure that appropriate regulation and infrastructure is in place, with some of the drones expected to be in service by as early as 2028. Well, joining me now is Anne-Lise Scaillierez, the CEO of the Drone Association, ARPAS-UK. Really good to talk to you today. So back in the 70s, they told us that this would be here, you know, by the year 2000, but maybe we'll see them by the end of this decade.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's a wonderful step forward that we now have a shared vision, which is the Future of Flight Action Plan just published today by Department for Transport. The great point about it is that it represents a collective co-design of a roadmap to introduce those new aviation technologies within the UK airspace by 2030.
And I suppose you need a roadmap because you don't want these drones bumping into each other or indeed into aircraft?
Yes, one of the key challenges is the integration of uncrewed aircrafts or eVTOL, which will be first piloted aircrafts into the UK airspace. That has been one of the key topics and challenges underpinning the roadmap that has been designed to 2030.
And what do we think the uses are of these drones? I mean, can they, for one, are they really going to be carrying people?
So it's nice that you show that picture of a smaller drone, because actually under the remit of the Future Action Plan, you have two streams of activities and two streams of aircrafts. One are the smaller drones, a bit bigger than these ones, but still professional drones that are here to capture data from the sky, for example, for police forces or for asset inspection, like railway inspection, etc. These are, of course, uncrewed aircrafts. And their first milestones will be to demonstrate the safe flight operations within unsegregated airspace as soon as 2024. And then, still within part of the future flight, you have a second stream of activities and milestones which relate to what we refer to as eVTOL, electric, vertical and takeoff and landing, sorry. And these are much bigger aircraft, and they are designed to carry passengers and cargo. And because they are different compared to existing aircrafts or helicopters, they will be first tested and demonstrated with a pilot on board. And the first milestone will be by 2026 to demonstrate a piloted eVTOL aircraft flight within the UK.
Wow. So what is stopping us doing this now, today? Is it the technology to get the people up there in these drones, or is it the regulation that you've been talking about?
I think it's a mix of things. First, it's the technology especially to ensure the safe integration with other airspace users, to ensure that we can detect other aircrafts and we can avoid one another. This is one item. The second item is the regulation per se. The Civil Aviation Authority is a regulator. It's a wonderful thing that the industry is regulated, because that regulation will enable the safe integration of drones within the airspace. But we still need to progress in that regulatory framework. And the third element is stakeholders' engagement, communication, understanding, so that actually we are all together using the same airspace. And that is also an important part of the journey.
And in terms of using these drones as taxis, there isn't a suggestion, is there, that they're just going to be able to sort of land and take off on the street or anything? They're going to have to be at specific locations, aren't they? Is it going to become a little bit like heliports?
So for the larger aircraft that can carry passengers, yes, it will be what we refer to as vertiports, which is not radically different from a heliport. You need a space literally to take off and land. You need to recharge batteries, etc. So these will be dedicated locations.
So do you think that this would be, I mean, obviously the key for most people will be getting in and out of cities, presumably. I mean, do you sort of see that these vertiports are going to be at current heliports, or you know, or are the different operators going to be buying up land?
I wouldn't say that all the user cases will be from city to city. Actually, one of the benefit of the eVTOL is that it can possibly support more rural areas or remote areas. And so that's what we refer to as regional transport. So it wouldn't be necessary from city to city, but whatever the location, whether it's city or in more rural or remote areas, you would need as we just mentioned, what we refer to as a vertiport, so that it's so that the aircraft can land in a safe and secure place.
Potentially, how much, if this is all to get up off the ground and running, could this be worth to the economy?
I mean, the whole point is that those novel form of aircraft would be quieter, safer, and more cost-effective than, for example, helicopters. So that's the, you know, I would say that's the original value proposal of those aircrafts, of course.
Interesting stuff. Anne-Lise Scaillierez, the CEO of ARPAS-UK, the UK Drone Association. Really interesting to talk to you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Well, let's see if it's nice weather for flying your drone.